Halabja attack happened in March 16, 1988, when I was only 3 months old. During that time, my family were hiding in the basement of our house since the morning, because there was war in the region between Iran and Iraq during the previous days. In March 16, people have heard that the Iraqi government might attack the city. Then my father had told my mom that let's go out. That might be a right time to escape the city. So they went out of the basement and they start running toward the road that can take them outside the city. And then all of a sudden they smell apple. My father immediately realized that it's a chemical bombardment. So he asked my mom to go back to the home, and they ran back to the home to go to the roof. They thought there is fresh air on the roof so that they can breathe there. And they have seen like dead body all around in the streets. So those people who were on the streets with one inhale of the gas, unfortunately, they lost their life. And my family, they came back to the house. It was first my dad who started climbing the stairs, and then my oldest brother and my mom, and she had me in her arms. I was only 3 months old, and she was still looking back to the door of the yard to see if the other children will come, but she has never seen them coming back. So most probably my other brother and my sister had already died in the streets. So my father first went, and then my oldest brother, but they both fall on the stairs, and my oldest brother were asking for help from my mom. So, and my mom had me in a blanket, so she left me on the stairs to get some wet clothes to help my brother, because my brother was feeling like burn all around his face because of the effect of the chemicals. So my mother has done that a couple of times to help my brother, and then all of a sudden she also lost her conscious and she fainted. And once she opened her eyes, she was in an Iranian hospital, and she had no idea what has happened to the family. At the beginning, she thought that she just lost us, and she will find us later, and we are just in different camp or hospitals, and we will find each other later. But day after day, she lost her hope that if anyone from the family is alive. She was looking all around in the refugee camp, in different hospitals, but there were no news of the family. She was so kind to adopt me. She had two other sons, and she was a widow. She had lost her husband. So I started living with them. I grew up with them. So I grew up with the family until the age of 17. And during that time, unfortunately, I lost my Iranian mother in a car accident as well. After that, when I lost her, it was totally difficult for me to continue my life. I had the thought that why would I lose two families at the age of 17? I got accepted in the public universities, and unfortunately, because of the ID issue, I was not able to proceed with my education. I couldn't get a job because I didn't have an ID, like no employer would accept me without an ID. It was not even legal to accept an employee without an ID. So I couldn't get a job as well. I was not even treated as a proper refugee because refugees usually have their own passport and ID, and at the same time they have a refugee ID. But in my case, I got a refugee ID, but I never had a proper passport of a country because the Iraqi government also rejected to give me the ID. I start searching around, I start sending email to different authorities and embassies in Tehran, UN office in Tehran, and unfortunately I didn't get much answers. I am a victim of a conflict and I had no decision when all this happened to me. I was only 3 months old, but unfortunately nobody listened to what I was saying and nobody could resolve my issue. So I didn't give up. I still was sending email to different places, and one day I find the website, the Peace Museum of Tehran, and I sent an email and I explained my story, and I got a reply. For the first time, a reply that brought a smile into my face. So it took like 1 month or 2 until I was able to cross the border because I didn't have any passport. It was an agreement between Iran and the Kurdistan region of Iraq to allow me to pass the border. I went to Kurdistan, and there for the first time I met some of those families who lost their children during the attack. And I still remember that day I couldn't look into their eyes because they had a lot of hope that after all these years, it was like after 22 years, all of them, they thought their sons has returned to them. So the only way to identify my biological family was through a DNA test. The blood sample was taken from myself and from those families, and it took another month for the result to come. It was a really difficult time for me that month. So each of this family, they had their own stories, and if the result was in a way that I am their son, my whole path of life would change. So that bring a lot of uncertainty for me during that time. And there were another possibility that none of those family are my biological family, and I have lost everybody. So all of these uncertainty made that month a difficult month for me. So I was waiting until the result came, and all the families were invited in a hall, and the result of the test were read, and in 1 second they read the result. They said 98% of Ali's blood. My name was Ali. My Iranian mother named me Ali. So Ali's blood is 98% similar to the person that we will read the name now. And that person is Fatima Muhammad Saleh. And the whole venue exploded with happiness for my family, my biological family. And then I went and I hugged my mom for the first time after 22 years. It was a really mixed feeling that I was not able to explain that feeling unfortunately, the other 4 family could not find their son, and it was a very sad moment for them. It was a mixed feeling because they were happy for me that I found my family, but at the same time they were sad that they couldn't find their son. They are still waiting. Some of them has already passed away without seeing their child. So after I found my mother, things have all the things in my life changed. I started asking questions from my mom, what happened on that day? Because I always had thought that a 3-month-old baby cannot be separated from his mom, but I didn't know the depth of the tragedy in Halabja, that one person can inhale and all of a sudden fainted and they couldn't know what is happening around them. My mom, when I talked to her, my biological mom, when I talked to her and whenever she explained what happened on that day, she compared that day to the doomsday. And she said like nobody was aware of what they are doing. They were all panic. So I started asking the question. She told me that I have lost 4 of my brothers, my father and my sister during the attack, and she is the only survivor of our family. Then after that, I start the process of getting my ID, the thing that blocked all my life. It took around 1.5 years until I was able to get my ID back through the court, because I was registered as a dead person. I had to revert that order and somehow prove that I am still alive. So that process took around 1.5 years until I get my ID. Observe very carefully what are the consequences. There is a conflict of 20 minutes, but what are the consequences? Definitely there are injured people who will suffer all their life because of that 20 minutes. That's definitely there. But there will be a lot of psychological problem that comes with those attacks, a lot of trauma. And we need to take that lesson. We need to understand that whenever we are making the decision, not we, but our politician, when that attack happened in my city, unfortunately, the whole world was silent. Nobody took any action. The Western power, actually, they enabled Saddam Hussein to get access to such a weapon. And that's so unfortunate. I hope that we can take the lesson and we can learn from those sad moments and sad history that has been recorded. And whenever we hear a decision that is about to be made to attack somewhere, or I don't know, to sell some specific chemical to some country that might not be responsible enough to use those chemicals in the right way, we need to raise our voice. Even if we feel that might not do a lot, but let's still do it. I work in tech, and whenever I get an opportunity, like right now, I raise my voice. I tell my story to people so that people will know what are those consequences, and they will also take action. I mean, like what I am doing might not be a huge step toward stopping those conflicts, but still I think it has its own effect on people to take actions.